This is a robbery for the Knicks, as there has been a lot of discussion surrounding New York and free agent Malik Beasley after he was cleared of the investigation in regards to the gambling situation, and the Knicks have a secret weapon up their sleeve to go and land Malik Beasley that's going to help them so much in this pursuit of him, while a bunch of teams are going to be looking for Beasley's services as one of the best shooters in the NBA. And we're going to discuss all this, how the Knicks can pull this off, the secret ace up their sleeve, and much more as well that you do not want to miss out on. But guys, before we jump into it, if you're part of that 56% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks updates. We got a lot of good videos coming at you that you do not want to miss. But let's jump into it. There's a lot to go over. Look, I know we've talked about Malik Beasley a good deal over the past couple of days or so with the whole situation regarding Beasley and his future in the NBA now that he's, going to have a future in the NBA. For a while, it looked like he was done, like he was going to be gone, and he was never really going to play in the NBA again with the gambling situation. However, after he was cleared of everything and is no longer being investigated, now Beasley becomes an available free agent for a bunch of other teams again that are looking for his services. The Knicks have been one of those teams. It's been no secret that the New York Knicks are interested in Malik Beasley. They saw Beasley play against them a lot last year. The Pistons did well against the Knicks, and even in the playoffs, it was a close 6-game series that the Knicks and the Pistons had between each other. When we look at this whole situation for the Knicks, it feels like it's a stretch. It feels like it's tough to get, and getting Beasley on the team would not be easy. However, they do have a card up their sleeve, and they've already shown a ton of interest. Now, jumping into that interest, it was mentioned by Jake Fisher that New York has been mentioned as a potential landing spot for Malik Beasley after ESPN reported Friday that Beasley is no longer a target of the federal gambling investigation. So, with that in mind, obviously Beasley is going to be someone who is tied to the Knicks going forwards with this team, as they do have interest, and they're one of the few teams that makes a ton of sense for Malik Beasley going forwards. And I mean, obviously I'm biased towards the Knicks. I do think the Knicks are an excellent situation for Beasley to get himself into, because, look, he was solid in the playoffs against the Knicks last year, but at the same time, he did struggle with Mikal Bridges and Deuce McBride guarding him for the majority of that time. With the Knicks, there's going to be so many shooters on that team and a Mike Brown offense that it's going to optimize Beasley's game, even though he is coming off the bench in this situation. He'd be a huge bench piece for the team, and the Knicks would have another huge weapon to use in regards to scoring. It gives him another wing as well, which is helpful. There's been some discussion about the Knicks adding another wing onto the team, so that would be huge. I mean, throughout the playoffs in his career, also, he has been a better performer than what he was able to do last year against the Knicks. On the Nuggets, he was very solid. He was great with the Timberwolves in the playoffs. With the Lakers, he didn't really play, and with the Bucks, he was awesome as well. So what we saw was a guy who has been able to perform when the lights are brightest at points, but obviously he's best off when he's not being really focused on the way that he was with the Knicks this last go-round. Now, on top of that, there has been more updates on Beasley and the Knicks. As Michael Scotto revealed, the Knicks and Cavaliers have checked in on Malik Beasley. Now, the Knicks executive Garrison Rosas signed Beasley to a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Timberwolves. Knicks and Cavs have minimum deals to offer. Beasley is no longer a target of the federal investigation. And as noted earlier this week, the Knicks are among teams that have done background work on free agent Malik Beasley. Beasley's lawyers told ESPN he is no longer a target of the gambling investigation. So shout out to Ian Begley for that. And Brett Sigel for saying, along with the Pistons, the New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers have also been monitoring Beasley and his status in free agency this offseason. Neither team has made a contract proposal to the 28-year-old at this time. Given their current payroll constraints and being hard capped at the second apron, the Knicks only have $3.7 million to work with. New York is only able to offer Beasley a minimum contract, and they still have 2 roster spots to fill. Now, here's the deal with Beasley and with the Knicks specifically. One of those spots is going to be a veteran's minimum contract, and the other one's going to be a rookie minimum contract. They're going to be able to do that, even if they sign Beasley to the veteran's minimum, because it's still the same thing. You're still signing that rookie minimum deal next anyway, and that's likely going to be Mohamed Diawara. So what we look at right now with the Knicks, it makes sense to go after Beasley. I mean, you have a connection there built in. You have this ace up your sleeve in Garrison Rosas. Rosas signed Beasley in Minnesota. He gave him that 4-year, $60 million deal. So Rosas is someone who Beasley knows well. The Knicks, we know how good they are with connections. They have a built-in connection right here between Garrison Rosas and Malik Beasley, and they have to use it because it would just be so beneficial for their team. It really does make a ton of sense for the Knicks to go out there and try to pull this thing off. I mean, when we consider everything as well, Stefan Bondy also said the Knicks touched base previously with Malik Beasley's camp and are viewed as a potential option for the three-point marksman. Beasley was recently cleared of the gambling investigation and is probably the top unrestricted free agent on the market. However, the Knicks, since they only have the veterans minimum, things get difficult. I mean, Beasley is worth a lot more than a veterans minimum deal. Last year, he put up 16 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, and shot 41% from three with 53% on corner threes. It was the best season of his NBA career, and he was in line for a 3-year, $42 million contract with the Detroit Pistons. However, after the gambling situation went down and he ended up kind of basically getting screwed over mightily this year in free agency, he's now going to get a smaller deal, and he's probably only going to want a 1-year contract. So next year, when he puts up numbers that can sort of mirror this, he gets more on track for a longer payday. That's likely what we're looking at when next year there's going to be a lot of teams with money in free agency, and Beasley will be one of the better free agents still. Now, if he signs with the Knicks, he's not putting up 16 points per game. We know that. He's not going to be starting, and he's going to be coming off the bench in a team that has a lot more mouths to feed. So it does make things a little bit more difficult. But also, Beasley's a far better option than Ben Simmons, who we've talked about a ton. With Simmons, I mean, 5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 52% from the field, excellent defender. But it's just like, it's just one of those things, man, where obviously you go get Beasley. He's just better. I know Simmons is versatile and gives you another ball handler and another playmaker and another guy who could defend bigs and all that. But still, I trust Ariel Hukporti to handle that, and I do trust Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride, Tyler Kolek, that whole unit to handle, like, literally handle the ball when Jalen Brunson's not on the floor. It's not something that concerns me too much, if I'm being honest. So that's something also that we do have to pay attention to. I mean, on top of that, we look at the Knicks cap table right now, and they are in an interesting spot because they have very little money. They have that $3.7 million to work with before they're at the second apron, and they just can't go into the second apron. It's not that you don't want to, it's that the Knicks are hard capped. So you can only go up to the exact price of the second apron. So, for instance, with the Knicks, that second apron is $207 million, a little bit close to $208 million, and because of that, that is the most money the Knicks can pay out, is exactly that price. They cannot go into the second apron. It's not allowed. It's just illegal for the Knicks to do that right now. So this is the world that we sort of find ourselves living in, at least for right now, in regards to the Knicks. I mean, obviously there are people believing this is a whole job done to try to screw the Pistons over, which is funny to me, but I also understand. I'd be upset too, so I totally get it. I just think it's an interesting tweet because we know how the Knicks are with connections and this being done in New York. It's just interesting to think about. And also when you look at the Knicks depth chart, and obviously this is screwed up because I don't know why the hell Hoops Hype has Tyler Kolek playing small forward, but is what it is. We're going to ignore that for right now because you look at the Knicks. Also, OG's not the shooting guard, but again, not the point. Shooting guard, small forward, power forward, all the same thing now anyway. But, or for the most part, that's not the case with every team. But when it comes down to it, adding Beasley gives this team more depth. It gives them a 10-man deep rotation that is downright terrifying. And they have to go out there and do this because it makes them better. And at the end of the day, this is what I want to see. I think this is the move that makes them the best. I want to see the Knicks win the championship. And to do that, you put the best team possible out there. Malik Beasley's part of that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Do you think there's any actual legs to Malik Beasley to the Knicks? Let me know. Have a great day. Go Knicks.